So the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. So we have criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and the fourth one we call stonewalling. And stonewalling is the absence of a whole bunch of things that listeners generally do. And if you look at somebody who's listening, there's a lot of research by social psychologists on this. They keep their bodies kind of open as they're listening. They maintain eye contact. They nod their heads. They utter these brief vocalizations. Oh, yeah, could be. Interesting. They move their faces. Oh, yeah, could be. Interesting. You know, and they're with the person, right? They're communicating. I'm listening. And even in a conflict discussion, a disagreement, they'll communicate. I may not agree with you, but I'm tracking. You know, I'm listening to what you have to say. I may not agree with your point of view, but, you know, I'm trying to listen sympathetically to what you're saying so I can understand your perspective a little bit. The stonewaller doesn't do any of that. Stonewaller folds arms like this, often looks away, down, maybe an occasional glance to see if the ogre has vanished. No head nodding, no vocalization, no facial movement. So here's an interesting thing. What predicts stonewalling? Well, in heterosexual relationships, 85% of our stonewallers are guys. This is a guy thing to do. Now, women sometimes stonewall, but it's rare. So we're very curious about whether, when we studied lesbians, would lesbians stonewall? And they absolutely do. So it's not biology. At least it's not gender-related. But one thing we discovered was that what predicted stonewalling also was if somebody had a heart rate of 100 beats a minute or more, that would predict the onset of stonewalling. So we started thinking, what is stonewalling? So we interviewed people about those moments. So what were you thinking there in those moments? And here's what was going through in the mind of a male stonewaller in a heterosexual relationship. Okay, just keep your mouth shut. How long can she go on like this? Thank God it's been 15 minutes already. She'll burn herself out. Just don't say anything. You'll make it worse. You always make it worse. You always make it... I can say something now. No, don't say anything. 10 minutes to the game. She can't touch me then. That's kind of what's going through the mind of the stonewaller. It's a self-soothing thing. It's trying not to make it worse, trying not to gum up the works. What the masters are doing when their heart rate gets above 100 beats a minute is they're doing self-soothing, and they're soothing one another. And they're doing it in really interesting ways. Like one guy, he was really getting upset. They were talking about his lateness, and his wife said, you know, I think the reason you're late so much is because when you were a kid, your mother left you waiting for hours. And he started getting really upset as he was remembering how angry he was at his mother. And as his heart rate got high and his blood velocity got high, and hers was already high, he said, say, those are nice shoes. And she said, well, they weren't expensive. And he says, they're pretty shoes. Are you going to wear those to the dinner party? She says, I was thinking of it. Oh, what dress are you going to wear them with? She said, I was thinking of the blue one. He says, I like the blue one. And their heart rates went down. And then they got back to talking about his lateness. So there's a lot of ability to soothe themselves and soothe one another that's happening in the masters.